well-respected, well-placed agent about 5 years ago. And we talked about the cost of representing a second or third rounder, and the cost is about $35. So we've gone from a second rounder cost about $35 to a fourth rounder costing about in that $35 range, which is not really good news if you're an agent trying to sign guys that are getting drafted outside the top 100. Next frame, please. So second hypothetical was a wide receiver out of a lesser conference, the Sun Belt. It was a fifth round projection. What would it cost to sign? The biggest drop there was in stipend. The stipends kind of fall off after the fourth round. Some are just paying $1,000 a month, if you can get away with it, with a $4,000 ceiling on that. About half of fifth rounders were getting, it seemed like, around $2,000, based on the people that we talked to and that kind of thing. Training is slightly lower, but for the most part, it's a fixed cost. If you're going to sign a kid who's going to get drafted in the fifth round, you're looking at spending $15,000 to $16,000. Total package has a wider range, though, than the fourth rounders. You're looking at probably $16,000 to $30,000, and probably going to be on the lower end of the scale, but you never know, and there's certainly no guarantees, as everyone in this room knows. The bigger variables for wide receivers also, as you know, are due to marketing expectations. Almost every receiver thinks he should be getting paid off the field like Ocho Cinco or whatever wide receiver you want to name, who's very visible and every casual fan knows. All right, next frame, please. Okay, we wanted to move to someone who's a little bit less sexy. We thought maybe an American Athletic Conference tight end who's a sixth-round projection might fit that bill. This is where the numbers break down a bit, and a connected agent really leans on scouts. It was hard to find that meet for everyone to kind of agree on the numbers. Stipends most commonly in the 1,000 range, so you're laying out $4,000. Uh-oh. I can't see anymore. All right, we're good. This is where, what I heard a lot was that when a kid signs, he wants the agent to pay off the lease. Usually the lease is going to last 4 months, 5 months, and he doesn't want his stipend to go towards the lease. So you get into a little bit of a sticking point about how much do you want to pay, how much do you want to do to cover that, even though, notwithstanding the fact that you're putting them up in an apartment or some kind of residence, you're covering housing in addition. And what I got back from most agents was, we don't want to pay leases on guys that are sixth round. Now, how you get around that is difficult. Also, agents that were the most seasoned one were trying to go to the trainers who they had the great relationships with and say, listen, can I get a deal on this guy? He's a sixth rounder. Who are often not going to be combine invitees, often not going to be Senior Bowl guys. They wanted to give them combine prep, but they want to pay more pro day prices. I guess we're all trying to do that, right? Total package was in that $14,000 to $28,000 range, slightly down from the fifth round. And then it really got fun when we talked to guys about the seventh PFA types, because that's where things have gotten crazy. Players' expectations are outsized, and it's really tough to take a gamble on a player anymore because most of these guys are expecting the same things that fourth, fifth rounders, sixth rounders are getting. And it's hard to pay that for a guy who statistically doesn't have a really good chance of making a 53. What I heard most often is that they're pissed that they don't get a stipend. And these guys, again, are probably priority free agents, or certainly not guaranteed to be seventh rounders, and yet they still wanted that guaranteed money. And some of them wanted up front rather than even monthly. It was another thing that I got from a lot of the agents I spoke to. It's just a diverse group, and the floor is hard to find. I really was kind of frustrated because I didn't feel like I got really good numbers on this group. But it's you're casting a pretty wide net when you just say 7 PFA. There's a lot of different shapes and sizes within that group, and it was hard to get kind of that majority feeling on things. But this is also, as everyone in this room knows, this is where newer agents have changed the market, because the barrier to entry to sign a player who's even getting any interest from scouts, is usually that training and whatever else you have to pay. And when you come to the industry with resources but not experience, you got to make that up somehow. And usually it's with money and try to take care of training and housing, et cetera, et cetera. So that's a challenge. I'm finding that seasoned agents are finding it hard to sell their experience. And I think that's disappointing. At the end of the day, I think players still don't see they don't see a lot of difference between a seasoned agent and a newer agent. And I think that's frustrating. I think probably inside the league hesitate to hit for that a little bit. Maybe we're not telling the story well enough, and that's something we'll hopefully can do better. How we get that to the player is something else entirely. How to get it to the parent is also a challenge, but something we're going to try to do. So last frame, just a few observations. We talked about stipends being paid out in a lump sum, some monthly, but it kind of varies. We talked about in 2014 what our research indicated and how these numbers have grown. It's just difficult, and I gotta say, while I certainly see the merits in players getting paid for their name, image, and likeness, I don't like what it probably means for you guys, because I think once players get used to the idea of getting paid before they even get out of college, that's going to be the floor for what they expect from y'all. And I don't think that's a good thing for the industry right now. I think, once again, it just devalues the value of agents and contract advisors. It takes away their understanding of what y'all really can provide and what y'all really mean to their careers. And that's no small thing. And unfortunately, that's just not being seen right now. A few other things, and they're all kind of pretty much on the screen. You're seeing a lot more offers to all expenses paid trips to all the All-Star games for parents, just kind of as a benefit. I had one agent tell me that he was close to signing a kid, and the parent said, well, this other agent's offering us an all-expenses-paid Caribbean cruise. I failed to see how that entered into the value of the agent, but whatever. But that's something y'all have to compete with as well, which is just kind of mind-blowing. Airbnbs are becoming a pretty popular thing out there as a place to house players, and I think that's a positive development. I think the more likely the agent, as I kind of mentioned earlier, the less likely they're even to sign a 7 UDFA. We're seeing a lot more agents say, I'm not going to recruit outside the top 100 because I've got to pay top 100 prices for everyone, so why should I take a risk on a guy that has a great chance of not making it 53 and I've still got to pay him like he's a guy that's a guaranteed 53, and that's certainly understandable as well. Rental cars, a big deal. Apartments, obviously, not hotel rooms. Even if they have their own serviceable car and housing, this was a frustration that I continually got from agents. And then finally, you're just getting a lot of players that want to be treated as day 2 guys when they're really probably PFAs. And so that's a frustration, but it's the reality of the situation. What does it mean, guys, ultimately? I don't know. I wanted to be really honest about this. I didn't want to shoot you in a direction that was anything less than accurate based on the people that I spoke to. I think everyone in here probably has their own stories about what they've seen, what they've faced, the challenges that they're getting. I think there's still a robust market for agents. It's just going to be a challenging one. They'll continue to be a challenging one. And I'm hopeful that we can kind of meet those challenges and Inside the League can play a role in that. That's all I got, guys. Oh wow, 5 till. Didn't even keep you an hour. I'm so appreciative of y'all for coming. And before I dismiss you, I just want to say I really am thankful. Y'all make every day special for me because I get to do something that I grew up wanting to do. And how many people can say that? All of you guys that are ITL clients, you're my friends as well. I'm in your corner and I want you to succeed. I hope I tell you this, but I believe in the win-win. By being part of ITL, you're winning. You're helping me be a win for me. I hope I can make it a win for y'all as well. Thank you so much for coming tonight, and I'll see you around.